I was disappointed by what I saw of ReCore at E3. I felt that it didn't kind of live up to my hype and my expectations for this thing, especially when you put Armature and Keiji Infafune and his Comcept team, together to build us a game that was influenced by Metroid and Mega Man. That's just music to my ears. And so when I played it at E3, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to come together by September. Now, I've had a chance to play the full game, of course, and it didn't quite come together as much as I had hoped and dreamed for. But it's better than I thought it was going to be, better than I was fearing it was going to be. This is a game about a woman named Jewel who wakes up on this, utopian colony called Far Eden that her father has sent her to. And she recognizes that all is not right in this world. The robots have basically overtaken everything, and there's mass chaos, and everywhere she goes, she's threatened by all of these robot creations. And she's got to go and explore and kind of uncover the mystery of exactly what happened. She picks up all of these audio recording logs, which are a familiar concept in modern video games, and she hears actually the voice of her long-gone father, which is actually a really nice conceit in this game. I really like that familial connection and that understanding on the father's script and the voiceover work that, he was basically sacrificing himself to save humanity and his daughter by sort of putting her to sleep and sending her into the future. And I thought that was a pretty profound, almost Interstellar-like play there. I thought that was a really smart move on the part of the developers.
So why didn't we wake up right when the problem started? We're the closest maintenance team, right?
I also like that you're picking up audio recordings of robot gibberish along the way. You meet these little robot characters that actually function as your fast travel points throughout the semi-open world of ReCore.
Violet, I got places to go.
Hey, okay!
The traversal in the game is one of the issues that I have with this thing. For the life of me, it took me 4 kicks at playing this thing before it sort of started to click for me about how to navigate the map. There isn't a lot of hand-holding in this game, which, in some ways I kind of applaud because I feel like games these days really kind of tell you everything along the way. And this one doesn't. There's a lot to kind of discover and uncover as you're going through it, but it's also obtuse, and there are moments in this game where I was like, especially at the beginning of it, it's like, what the hell do I do next? Where is my objective? What am I supposed to do right now? And you start to understand that you need to explore like crazy, and you get an overworld map, but it's not really filled or populated with anything. You're not really guided to objectives right away. You've got to kind of sort of just wander, encounter, try to dig up these prismatic orbs, which are kind of like the keys to adventure, either through the new dungeons that you're going to open up, which will probably give you more prismatic orbs as well, or all kinds of power-ups and collectibles that you're going to want to kind of juice your core bots, which is the other core mechanic in this game.
Done and done.
But you basically have to kind of go off on your own and figure it out. And once that kind of clicked for me, and I realized that, I'm not just going to zip from story point to story point here. I have to kind of ramble through the map and try to find my stuff over here and meet characters that are way overpowered over here, and finally start to kind of put the pieces together. I started to enjoy myself. And once I realized that I wasn't fully alone in this thing, you meet another character that also has a crawler out there, and you help that person out too, and suddenly there's a little bit more vitality, a little bit more life, and you also start to meet more core bots.
What's your name?
And the core bots give you all kinds of extended functionality. You start with kind of like a dog type creation, then you get a spider creation that can climb along and clamber through these sort of yellow tracks all over some of the environments, and you can hang off of that character and get to new areas in the game. That was super fun. You also find like this giant gorilla type character, and each one of these core bots has functionality that you need to access new areas within the game. So in a way, it's very similar to the sort of Mega Man upgrades that you would get by picking up all the suits. And there also is a tremendous amount of retraversal because, just like in Metroid, once you have the powers, you're going to want to go back into some of these dungeons that you've been in before, and you will access, inaccessible areas from the past, and you'll lock down a lot more of these prismatic cores that will get you into later stages. And I did find myself constantly running into that dilemma of, phew, I beat up all these bad guys and some of them were really tough and, they were at level 20 and I'm at level 14 and I got past them, I'm there, I get up to the door and I don't have enough prismatic cores, I can't do anything. I have to go back into the desert and find everything, which is par for the course with any kind of Mega Man or Metroid type of experience out there. It just was not as fun to kind of go back out into that desert. I think part of it is the visuals of the desert are really underwhelming. First of all, it's like white sand, so at the beginning of the game you can't tell if it's snow or sand, and it's just kind of bland. It just doesn't look that great. It was a little repetitive, it was a little tiresome in some spaces, and it was also tremendously difficult in some areas as well, where you'll turn the wrong corner and suddenly you do meet a character or a bunch of characters that are much more powerful than you are. And one of the most troublesome things with this game is the tremendously long load times that persist. And when you've been, beaten by overpowered enemies and you're trying to get to a door 3 or 4 times, it's like, what the hell am I doing? This is ridiculous. And the payoffs, frankly, just aren't that great. There is this addictiveness to the controls and the functionality, and finding the audio logs is definitely super fun. I like the, this malevolent robot kind of overture that's a part of this experience. I certainly can feel the pedigree. I can feel that there was a lot of love and heart and effort put into this game. And I did have a modicum of fun, but I wanted more. And I think most gamers will. I think that ReCore is just okay. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.